Every assassin carries secrets, but only a handful have missing pieces capable of rewriting their entire legacy. And Assassin's Creed Mirage Valley of Memory is exactly that. This is a quiet and unexpected free expansion that fills the emotional void at the core of Basim's origin. Slotted subtly between Mirage's late game memories, this DLC isn't just an extra chapter, it is the turning point, the moment where Basim stops being a hopeful hidden one and begins the long descent towards the enigmatic figure we later meet in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It is in many ways the final glimpse of Basim as a human being before Loki's presence reshapes everything he becomes. What follows is the clearest, most structured explanation of where the story sits in the timeline, how it frames Basim's arc, and why many fans already consider it one of the most essential narrative additions the series has ever delivered in years. So where does Valley of Memory fit in Basim's timeline? Valley of Memory takes place after the head of the snake, before Mirage's final missions, just before Basim's psychological unveiling and Loki's awakening, and before the events that eventually connect to Valhalla. In essence, Valley of Memory is Basim's last full human chapter, right before Destiny, Trauma, and Isu fate converge. Even though it technically occurs mid-game, the emotional and narrative weight makes it feel like Mirage's true climax. The heart of Valley of Memory can be seen as a personal reckoning. The DLC opens with a single rumor, quiet, fragile, and devastating. Basim's father, Ishaq, may still be alive. In Mirage, Basim's childhood trauma is hinted at but never explored. Valley of Memory finally peels back the curtain. A rediscovered painting believed to be Ishaq's drives Basim and Devries deep into AlUla, an ancient valley torn between political strife, bandits, and buried history. This is the chapter that fills Mirage's latest emotional gap. AlUla is a landscape built on memory, one of Mirage's most atmospheric locations. AlUla is dripping with Abbasid history and layered with symbolism. It is divided into two distinct sub-regions: the land of the living, located at the south, with blooming oases, growing farms, populated settlements, a landscape echoing renewal and possibility. Second is the land of the dead, which is located at the north. It is filled with complex tombs, cliffs carved by forgotten civilizations, sand-buried ruins, and necropolis, and finally a place where history lingers like a ghost. This split isn't accidental. It mirrors Basim himself, torn between the worlds of his past and the responsibility of the man he is trying to become. AlUla is the most immersive environment Mirage has ever had. In Valley of Memory, consequences come full circle. When Basim finally uncovers the truth, the story becomes morally tangled. His father is being held hostage by Nimlot, the son of a man that Basim himself assassinated. This is the first time Basim is forced to confront something no hidden one ever wants to face, because every Creed-driven kill ripples outward and every hidden blade leaves someone else grieving. This encounter becomes the emotional core of the DLC. It is the moment Basim begins shifting from idealistic student to the colder, calculating figure who later navigates the events of Valhalla. At its core, Basim can be seen as the son who refuses to repeat the past. The story's climax flips Basim's childhood on its head. The abandoned child becomes the protector, and the powerless boy becomes the rescuer. The wounds he buried are forced into the light. This is Basim stripped of myth, stripped of destiny, and just the son fighting to reclaim the last piece of his humanity. It is the last time we see Basim without Loki's shadow looming over him. Now you may be wondering, how does Valley of Memory rewrite Basim's destiny? It is simple. It restores Basim's humanity before Loki dominates his mind. This chapter touches on family, loss, duty, childhood trauma, and long-buried love. Secondly, it recasts Mirage as a tragedy. With this DLC in place, Mirage reads differently. Basim was never meant to be a classic hero. His path is shaped by abandonment and his identity fractures. His later ruthlessness is now grounded into painful clarity. But most importantly, Valley of Memory strengthens the bridge to Valhalla, and this makes the whole story understandable. It finally explains why Basim becomes so cold, why he searches relentlessly for truths, and why Loki's influence feels inevitable rather than abrupt. This finally feels like Mirage's real ending, and in my opinion, this should have been a part of the base narrative. Basim finally feels complete. The added humanity reshapes how his Valhalla arc is perceived. The parkour here feels like a full upgrade. Free jumps, safer falls, tools improvements, and replayable missions are finally seen once again. This is one of Ubisoft's strongest free DLCs ever, with over 6 hours of meaningful content without fillers. But the true question is Valley of Memory canon? The answer to that question is a resounding yes, because it is officially confirmed by Ubisoft, and it fits directly between the missions of late game Mirage. It also connects Mirage to Valhalla, provides essential character developments, and deepens the Hidden One's philosophy. This is not an optional side content, this is Basim's story. And for those of you wondering, when does Valley of Memory happen? Valley of Memory happens right after the head of the snake and before Mirage's ending. Do you need to finish Mirage first? No, you can play during the campaign or launch it directly. Does the DLC alter Basim's destiny? It doesn't change it, but it finally explains it. And for the final question, does it connect to Valhalla? Very strongly, both narratively and emotionally. Please, if you enjoyed this video, kindly hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell icon so you can get notified when I upload videos like this, as I am desperately trying to hit 1K subscribers by the end of this year. And until next time, peace and love.
Incredible.